We got our first look at EA Sports NHL 26 video game on Wednesday with the release trailer coming out. Mario, what were your initial thoughts after watching the trailer?
So the trailer, I mean, it looks great. Obviously, you know, it's a lot of cinematic, but you know, I was happy with how it looked, how it felt. The movement of the players usually mimics very closely to what the gameplay actually looks like. I know they do it up for the trailer, but it looks great. I am always, every year with this game in recent years, it comes down to, is franchise mode and be a pro, is it not copy and pasted from the year before?
Yeah.
And franchise mode, there's been some tinkering around the edges over the last couple of years. It's still mainly the same kind of game mode and everything, but be a pro has been horrendously copy and pasted the last couple of years. There's been no incentive to play it. It's no different than the last couple of years in 25, 24, 23. It's all the same. It's the same opening scene.
Yeah.
What made me so happy was in the release trailer, you saw some new cutscenes, some new animations. You saw the World Juniors involved in it, which I've been asking for years, since the IIHF has been part of, you know, allowing the game to use the likenesses of the countries and everything. So it looks like World Juniors is a part of that, and information coming out after the release of the trailer is that Be a Pro has been overhauled in the way that it's going to be presented, the depth of it. You can play in the AHL actually now. Like, you're not just directly in the NHL as an 18-year-old.
Yeah. And no matter how bad you are in your Memorial Cup games, you still are picked first overall.
That is the mode that I want to be better the most, and I'm very happy that it's getting revamped.
Yeah, it does look good. There's the draft sequence where they showed whatever his last name was, Smith.
John Smith.
Walking up to the podium. He's drafted by the Mammoth, 4th overall. They show him lifting the World Junior Championship trophy, playing for the London Knights. So there is some revamp happening.
It's a good draft
year.
I
know the team that took over NHL, I think it was 3 years ago, kind of said, like, this is going to be a year to year. We're going to implement changes and try to, like, improve this thing over time. We can't do it all at once.
It's not an overnight thing.
And especially, I think, when you consider the way EA as a company prioritizes the NHL series, they've got to do what they can with the resources they have, both financially and personnel-wise. So I think we have seen small improvements over the last 2 or 3 years in terms of gameplay, in terms of some features. I think from what I watch our buddy Cam, No Sleeves, on YouTube do his reaction video, it seems like we're getting to the next phase of the revamping of the NHL series.
Next phase of the rebuild. I've heard that before.
Well, I mean, it's good. I think it's an acknowledgement that some things needed to change. I think overall, once you're playing the game, once you're on the ice, it's a good experience for the most part. There's some glitchy things that bother you, like some money goals that will always be a problem in hockey games, of course. I had a couple hours of hands-on with the beta test of the NHL 26, so I got some games of World of Chell, which is not my favorite mode, but it was the only thing available at the time, and then a few games of Ultimate Team. I can say, and this showed up in the trailer too, a lot of the Ice Q analytics are being used, like what was the percentage of scoring on that play, or what were the miles per hour on that shot, and they have implemented those in the cutscenes and into the real-time gameplay. Okay. So that's kind of a cool feature too, and I want to see where that goes in terms of having player attributes be a little more accurate and have one thing that's always tough in sports games is to make the star players feel like star players without them being completely overpowered.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe now, if we're looking for a positive use of AI, taking these analytics from NHL's edge statistics, plugging them into their attribute system, and building players correctly could be a great way to make that happen.
Yeah, I was excited to see how they were integrating that together, because that's one of the things that, you know, as the season goes on, you want, you know, the ratings in the games to kind of flow with how things are going. And sometimes you'll see a player who's not a star kind of go on a heater. Look, Ryan Donato last season went on a 30-goal pace when he's not expected to. And you'd want to see, as the ratings kind of change and roster updates, kind of reflect that, even if it is like a short-term thing. Like, you know, if Donato shot up to like an 88 or something, but then he starts NHL 26 and he's rated at 84 or something like that. Like, okay, that's fine. Like, it doesn't need to be like, oh, this is the player he is now. He's got to be a 90 or something like that. Like, it can reflect with the ebb and flow of a season. And I don't know if it'll get that detailed, but I think it is interesting to see how they are going to integrate those NHL Edge stats into how they do roster updates and how they, have the flow of a player kind of progress throughout the year. And they can't get everybody's up and down monthly, whatever. But I think for some of the more players that are more notable, I'd like to think that they have a couple people who are dedicated to, like, here, you pay attention to what's happening in the Central and in the Pacific and who's hot and who's cold, all that stuff, to kind of get a more accurate representation of how the season is going. And also, too, with the NHL Edge stats is they're getting the tendencies of players.
Right.
So it's not just, it's not just, okay, this player has this X factor, so they're in this box. It's like, well, yeah, okay, well, Connor Bedard, he might have like the snapper X factor or something like that, but he might also use more of his specific animation might be a little bit more of a drag and shoot.
I would like to see that
than just a generic wrist shot, like just different things that we know as Blackhawks observers how much he goes to that shot style. If that was reflective of anytime you shoot Connor Bedard, there's more of a tendency for him to drag and shoot it to make it feel more like, oh, I'm using Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
That would be really cool to see.
Yeah. There's going to be some changes in Ultimate Team, which is a mode I primarily play. Looks like there's going to be a salary cap implemented. I didn't really see that get executed in the beta I played, but they also have a thing called, it's offline Ultimate Team called a Cup Chase, and you basically play a season. So there's standings, and you get to playoffs, and it's a way to play Ultimate Team without having to play online and get slaughtered all the time.
That could interest me, because if I'm just doing it on my own time, that would be, because I feel like to keep up with HUT, you have to like constantly be.
Oh yeah, because your team gets way too bad.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
It's everyone's grinding away, making their team great. If you're just playing at your own pace, a single player, your team can lag behind a little bit. Anyway, encouraging. We'll see. It doesn't feel like it's going to be another copy and paste, so fingers crossed. Game drops September 12th. If you get the deluxe edition or you're an EA Play member, you get access September 5th. Matthew Tkachuk is the cover
Tkachuk
athlete.
Family Edition.
Yeah, the deluxe edition has Brady, Matthew, and Keith Tkachuk on the cover. And if you pre-order now, I saw, and you're an Ultimate Team player now, you get a 99 overall Matthew Tkachuk for the rest of NHL 25's HUT season.
Oh, nice.
So there's a little bonus if you want to pre-order, I think, before September 12th.
One thing I do want to say, too, about, with EA releasing NHL 26, I've been playing a lot of the college football game.
Yeah. And
there have been a lot of issues with gameplay, and it's a whole different conversation of finish a friggin' game before you release it, please.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, to EA's credit, and hopefully it transfers over to the NHL series, is that the college football series, when it was launched in the first month or so, the community has come back and said these are big issues with the gameplay. And one of the most recent patches, I think it actually just downloaded today, fixed a lot of it. Good. So I hope that if there are, when there are issues with the game, the developers can patch them and listen to the community, and to a reasonable extent of like, this is a problem, this isn't working, and then they go in and fix it. Yeah, the NHL is not going to have the resources that college football has, but they have done a good job of patching, and I do feel like the game now, 25 now, is worlds better than it was at launch, so hopefully that continues. All right, again, September 12th is the official release date for NHL 26. Pre-order for 7 days early access.